10:33, right back here on this 19th day of January. You gotta wait for Huey Lewis. That's the power of Sally Arbuthnot. Did I get it right? Did I?
Arbuthnot.
Oh.
You're fine.
Oh, man, I did it last time. I even told Sally, I said, right before she came on, I said, listen, I butcher your name during the newscast.
It's okay. It's a hard one.
But this is a really cool story. I mean, you've had a heck of a run here. You were the first correctional officer, right, in the Jersey County Jail?
Yes.
And then now you're the first female sheriff's deputy. That's pretty darn cool.
Yes, I'm very excited about it. I started at the Sheriff's Department back in 2016 and was the first female then, and now I was like, you know what? I'm going to be the first female deputy, and here I am 6 years later. So it took a while, but I made it. So,
well, tell us how your journey started. How'd you get into this industry, this field?
So I went to college at Lewis and Clark. I always knew I wanted to go into the criminal justice field. So I did an internship with the Jersey County Sheriff's Department. They ended up hiring me a few months later after I was finished with it. And I did an internship there over spring and summer. And I was like, man, this is really interesting. I got to get into this. I got to do this. So they hired me into the jail, and they worked around my schedule a lot because I was still in college at the time.
Right.
So I finished college, went to the Corrections Academy, and that's kind of what started the journey at the Sheriff's Department.
That's incredible. And I really just think it's so great to, kind of see this. I mean, history's being made still today. Yeah. That's so cool. So take us through this. So how did it happen? How did you get the call? Did you know this was coming, or was it just kind of a surprise thing?
It was actually a surprise.
Wow.
It really was. Like, I knew someday, some of the guys would retire and I would finally get a spot, but it was kind of out of nowhere. I worked part-time at Grafton Police Department.
Okay.
I was actually working down there, and the sheriff at the time, Sheriff Ringhausen, called me, and he's like, hey, I need you to come to town. We're doing a canine fundraiser type thing. And I'm like, okay, sure, I'll stop by and eat lunch or whatever. And then all of a sudden he comes out and he was like, you've done everything I've asked you to do, and you're in. And I was kind of shocked. I was like, oh, wow. I was like, oh, that's awesome.
That's so crazy. I mean, seriously, that's crazy in a good way. So when was your first official day, on the patrol?
It was November 12th was the first day I went out.
And no, she didn't arrest me right afterwards. Text line gets a little wonky sometimes. So how's it? I mean, it's winter, so it's a little bit slower.
Yeah.
But are you getting your bearings? Has the community kind of showed their support for you too?
Oh yeah. It's been great. Jersey County's a good community.
It is.
It's a small community. I've lived there all my life, so I know a lot of the people, and working in the jail really gave me a lot of experience, and I built a good rapport with a lot of the people I dealt with in the jail. So, it's beneficial to work in the jail and go to the road. It really is. So.
Well, I feel like it's a good building block, really,
Yes.
because you get to really experience all of that before it's thrown in your face.
Yes, absolutely. Yep.
Well, I'm in pro wrestling, and one of the promoters I worked for down in Mount Vernon, well, he was a prison guard over at one of the prisons in Illinois.
Okay.
And he said, you know what? I'm telling you, ask anyone that was a correctional officer, anyone that's been in the jail system, that's been a part of it, they can write a book.
Oh, yes.
You got some?
Yes.
We don't have to say it. To me, it's such an interesting thing because you've really seen it all.
Oh, yeah.
And was being a police officer something that started as a kid that you wanted to do, or did you just kind of fall into it?
It kind of started as a kid. I kind of have a long, drawn-out history of kind of how it started.
Right on, yeah.
My grandfather, he's a retired Alton Police Department. He was a detective for a while, and then I believe he retired as sergeant. So
wow.
It was really cool just knowing the different stories that he's had. And now it's crazy because today, policing was a lot different back then.
Right.
So now, him and I have stories to share. Back then, it was a little different. Now it's obviously a lot different. So it's really interesting to be able to, connect in that kind of way. And,
I bet, because there's so many different. I bet you it's like where you can correlate, but it can't be the same type. That's so awesome. And now, who was the first one you called when you found out that you were the first female Jersey County Sheriff's Deputy?
Oh my gosh, I think I called my mom. I was just so in shock. I was like, guys, you know, if my grandma passed away a couple years ago, and if she was still here, she would have been the first person I would have called. I mean, sorry, Mom, but
we're all about honesty here.
Yes. And yeah, Grandma was my biggest fan, and unfortunately, she passed before I finished the police academy. But I know she was there with me the whole time, so I know she would be very proud. So
absolutely. Well, I mean, you're going to be doing this for quite a while. You have any intention of leaving Jersey County? Or are you happy where you are?
I'm happy where I'm at.
So what's the next few years going to be looking like for you? Because I don't really know the progression from here. I'm not very familiar with the field.
Well, we're not a very big department, but, you know, there's sergeant positions, there's a detective. Right now, I'm pretty happy with where I'm at. I want to get as much experience out on the road as I can, and just kind of go with the wind, just see what the future holds. Do what I'm doing now, and just only get better at what I'm doing, and kind of go from there. So.
Absolutely. Well, hey, let me do something real quick. Can you sit in that microphone? That microphone just blew.
Oh, no problem.
I have never, right there live. There you go.
Gosh, I broke it. It's my fault.
We'll build Jersey County. No, I'm just kidding. So with this, do you have any insight? Like, if you did have the chance, if they go, hey, we got a detective spot, would you take that? Or is that interesting to you or not?
Maybe like years down the road, doing something like that would probably be pretty cool to me. But that'd be after I get quite a few years on and quite a bit of experience.
And have you got any good feedback yet from any of the other, coworkers that you have?
Oh, yeah. Everybody who I've worked with has been nothing but supportive. As far as, I have a lot of close friends that I worked with back in the jail. We're a pretty tight-knit department. Everybody's pretty close, so.
Well, it seems like you guys are really a family more than anything.
Yes, absolutely.
That's incredible. And, I got to ask you, what was day one like? I mean, did it feel weird not going back to,
It did. It did. I was like, wow, this is different. I mean, I wouldn't change it for anything. I don't miss the jail, but, it was different, very different.
That's incredible. Well, I really, just think this is great. And are you, is there any message you want to give the citizens of Jersey County? I mean, might as well. Giving you the platform's yours.
Really, since I was a kid, I went through a tough time as a child, had an abusive father, stuff like that. Our family went through quite a bit of traumatic event that was, life-changing. Mm-hmm. So one of my biggest things I like to tell people is not all bad comes from bad.
That's right.
Coming from a bad situation like that, it's tough. It's tough to work through it. And a lot of people I come in contact with, they say, well, Sally, it's all I know. It's all I've been through. I'm like, look, listen here. I understand. Like, I've been through it, as a small child. So, I want people to know. I want to be more of an inspiration to people and say, look, you can make good out of something bad. It's not all bad. And it just makes you want to be even more of a better person and come above that and rise above that. Well,
and honestly, to me, it seems like you have the ability to connect with a lot of people that are experiencing very, serious situations, and maybe they don't know what avenue to go down. This means that you're going to be a great resource for that.
Yeah.
That's incredible. And Sally, I really appreciate this. And now you had your off day yesterday, right? Or is that today?
Yes. Well, yesterday and today I'm off.
There you go. Because you're like, well, I could come in, yesterday and right after I just worked 24 or 48 hours and do this. Now, is there a detail of this job that you weren't expecting? Like any weird tidbit stuff that maybe you were like just kind of thrown at you and you're like, oh, didn't know how to do that?
I mean, not really. I mean, I would say that it just comes as the shift goes. Yeah. I'm like, oh, I don't really know how to do this. But working in the jail, like I hear the guys on the radio all the time. Like we've said, we're all really close. So a lot of things I did know, but of course, every shift I'm like, okay, how do I do this? And it's just because it's just a totally different world out there. So, but everybody who I've learned from has been, nothing but supportive, and I ask a lot of questions, so I want to make sure I'm right. So,
Well, you're really passionate about this, and that's what's so cool. Now, I got a question. 60 Minutes question. This is the hard one.
Okay.
I only ask one hard one in an interview. Pull anyone over you know yet, or stop anyone that you know yet, and they go, Sally, hey, how you doing?
Yes.
Already?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
They didn't get off, huh?
No. Well, I'm not, you know, you
Right.
gotta be doing something crazy.
Right.
I don't want to, I'm not too hard on them. So, yeah, I've had some people from school and just people, you know, I know from dealing with them in the jail and
Right.
that kind of thing. So it's pretty much every shift you pull someone over that you know.
Do you remember when I gave you that pencil in high school, you know, and all that? That's what I would do.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yep.
And, well, I guess the next question is, do you guys have any of, like, community things come up, any community programs that you're aware of? I always like to ask that because I know you do a couple of them throughout the year.
So, like I was talking about earlier, we did have, like, the K-Night fundraiser.
Right.
And that, I'm not sure if I'm not really too, like the previous sheriff would do different things. You know, we have the new sheriff now, so I'm sure there'll be different things that he wants to do and whatnot. But the previous sheriff, we had the K-9 fundraiser, and we had a thing called Safety Pup. It's like a big dog costume, and it's good for the kids.
Yeah.
So we did that. So as far as now, I'm sure we'll have things to do. Yes,
Stay tuned.
Stand by.
There you go. Well, I got a question. What's it been like? Because you've worked with the former sheriff, and now you have the new one. How's it been with the transition? Has it been a pretty smooth one?
It has.
Good.
It has. Everybody's, been very supportive with the new sheriff. Obviously, every boss has different expectations and different things they want to do. But it's been great. I have no complaints right now.
Well, I really appreciate it. And Sally, thank you so much for popping in for a couple of minutes and highlighting this. And that's what I think is so cool, because every day women like you are making history and showing the world that ain't nothing stopping you.
Yes, absolutely.
There you go, 10:45 on this 19th day of January. A quick break. We come back and wrap up this Thursday morning in downtown Alton.